And if we can talk about some of the specific sectors, I know you mentioned resources was one that performed very well in terms of its earnings growth, which tends to move up and down. It's not going to keep going that way indefinitely. But healthcare was another one that you referred to. There was a bit of a mixed bag there. Can you just talk us through those?
Yeah, well, Glenn, I mean, the resources, what was happening there was a continuation of what happened in 2017. The bulk commodity prices stayed up. Iron ore and coal, both metallurgical and thermal coal, stayed up, as did alumina prices, and so the big bulks, BHP, Rio, did very, very well, but they were well anticipated. They rewarded shareholders, record dividends, record free cash flow, balance sheets in great shape, capital management was at the fore. And given it's a volatile industry, that's exactly what they should be doing. I mean, when things are good, they should pay it out, and then and set and trim sails when things are get a bit rough. The healthcare space was a mixed bag, as you said. I mean, CSL shot the lights out, and there's no doubt now, as far as I'm concerned, it's the number one major company in terms of the management team. It's the best managed major company we have listed. It's now in the top 5 by market cap, and it's not there by accident. It's a global player. It's got 35 to 40% of the markets in which it participates in a global sense. The human body needs blood, but they're also there in the vaccinations and diversifying into that space. And their R&D is throwing up some very, very interesting, potentially big winners. And so it's no surprise at what it's done. On the flip side, you had Ramsay Healthcare, which is kind of one of our been a market favourite for quite a while. It stumbled again domestically because the private healthcare insurance numbers are under pressure, and things aren't going all that well for them in both the UK and France, and so that disappointed, and the market has marked it down. Whether it's probably overshot it on the downside, but can it recover? Yes, it can. Will it recover in the next year? Possibly not. And so you've got to be just a bit cautious there. But I mean, the 3 big companies there in an international market, CSL, Coshley and ResMed, all did very well. They are global players, and the focus by those companies was excellent.
And without going into too much detail, I know there was some movement upwards in terms of the fair value estimates from our analysts, and there was some on the downside as well. The full detail is sort of spelled out in our earnings insights that's now available to our subscribers. But just in general terms, what can you say there?
Well, look, there was a couple of sectors that really did do better than probably the market was looking for. Strangely enough, leisure and gaming did very well as a group. Crown did well, and Star Entertainment did well because the VIP came back here and started throwing money at roulette and all those other things they play, and the house was winning. And Tabcorp was better because of the synergies coming out of Tats. Now, as a group, as I said, they did well. Strangely enough, small retail did okay, despite the problems with household consumption. Both Breville and Super Retail Group were better than expected. Elsewhere, there was a couple of reasonable results in non-bank financials. Computershare was a strong result. Link was a good result. So it was a fairly mixed bag, but overall, as I said, quite good. Disappointments, they were there. James Hardie and Adelaide Brighton in building materials, but then Boral shot the lights out. Energy was very good. Both Woodside and Santos have performed very, very strongly. They've delivered what we expected because, again, the oil price is sticking around that $75 Brent, And that's terrific when your cash flow break even for, like a Santos is 36 and now with Quadrant down to 32. They're going to continue to do very, very well, and the world needs energy.
Great. Thank you very much for your time today, Peter.
It's a pleasure, Glenn.
Any advice in this video is general advice prepared by Morningstar without reference to your financial objectives, situation or needs. You should consider the advice in light of these matters and any relevant product disclosure statement before making any decision to invest.